It should be no news to you by now that Queen Elizabeth II has passed on. 96 years old. She was the longest reigning monarch. She definitely lived an extraordinarily amazing life. I can't even imagine. You may not know that she served in the military during World War II. My respects and my condolences to the royal family and to all those who knew her on a personal level, and to England. And now there's King Charles III. It feels so strange to say that for the majority of those alive today. It is all we remember is Queen Elizabeth II. Most of us have never seen the changing of authority there. While it is a sad occasion, it is a historical one. For those of you that don't know this and may be surprised to hear this, the royal family does have a Twitter account. And you can, of course, go follow them for all of their latest updates. Boy, Johnny Depp just stays busy, doesn't he? He just goes and goes and goes and goes. I need a graphic. Somebody's got to make me a little graphic of the Energizer Bunny with Johnny Depp's head on it. So, in addition to the touring with Jeff Beck, filming receiving Laureate Award, and a host of other things that he does. It's so hard to keep up with him. Johnny Depp is going to be holding an online meeting as part of the, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Tashkent International Film Festival. Johnny and director Andrew Levitas will present Minamata and hold an online meeting with fans at the 14th Tashkent International Film Festival. Minamata can finally be seen in theaters throughout the U.S. I've seen Minamata, and I can tell you that it is a phenomenal film. It raises awareness about the dangers of mercury poisoning due to synthetic substances that were being released into Japan streams. And Johnny Depp plays Eugene Smith, the photographer that went over there to take pictures of this. And it is a moving film. And as always, Johnny Depp just disappears into this role. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. And still, as far as I know, I still don't have anything concrete about, I'm checking right now, about whether Johnny Depp is performing with Jeff Beck in the States. I've seen it both ways. He is, he isn't. As I said before, I contacted the Anthem. Okay, I have to interject here because I went back yesterday. I checked the website and I did not see Johnny Depp's name. And today, when at the time that I made this recording, now when I was putting this video together, something told me go back and check the Anthem site again. Now remember, I actually had called. You have to forgive the baby in the background. I'm working right now. Something told me to go back and call. Sorry, y'all remember I went and called the Anthem, and they couldn't tell me either way whether Johnny Depp was going to be part of the concert or not, saying they had no way of knowing. But something told me just to go and check, and today, like just now, and you see Johnny's name is back up there. His name had disappeared. It was there, like last, I don't know, maybe a few days ago, and then it wasn't there, and now it's back underneath Jeff Beck's name. So maybe they have information now to confirm. I'm glad to see that because there's been so much, back and forth. He is going to be there. I've seen sites that say he's not going to be there. But it does appear, at least according to the Anthem's website, that Johnny Depp is actually joining Jeff Beck. So I've got to get off of here because I have a baby trying to grab the microphone. Guys, I'm doing my Saturday chat with you all this way because I have a very busy Saturday coming up and won't have time to sit down at my computer. I have Comcast coming. I have someone coming to do my yard. People are it's just going to be an in and out. I have errands to run, and it's just going to be an in and out all day long. So I'm kind of pre-recording this one today, and so that I can make sure that it's not late for you on Saturday. And I didn't want to miss it. I enjoy my Saturday chats with you. I'm just doing this one. I'm starting it on Thursday. And I'll probably add to it this evening and tomorrow. Well, let's see. As far as personal updates go, I've got a couple things that I'm trying to work out. I'd like to say it's nothing major. I hope it won't turn into anything major, but still waiting for my landlord to move out. He claimed that he was going to get his trailer last weekend. I have not seen that trailer pull up here yet. I asked my lawyer to hold off on sending him that letter telling him to be out by the end of September because he told me that he was moving, voluntarily. But, unfortunately, if I don't see signs of him moving out this weekend, I am going to have my lawyer go ahead and send the letter because it'll be obvious to me that he's just, postponing and trying to put me off. Let's see. I'm trying to increase enrollment in my daycare, and I'm a little afraid that if I don't, it could mean the end of my daycare. It hasn't quite gotten to that point yet, but I can see that if I don't enroll at least one more child by the end of the month, if I can't find a way to, do something to supplement my income, then I might have to consider giving notice to the families I do have, and then use that time to find another job. And the problem with that is that I've been doing this for the last 6 years, and I don't want to quit doing this. I will feel like a failure. And I know that it isn't anything that I am doing or not doing. I have spoken with other child care providers in my area who are having the same problem. And I knew that when our governor, when Northam, he's not our governor anymore, but I knew when he announced that Virginia was going to be offering free pre-K, well, I knew it was only a matter of time before it seriously affected enrollment. That, coupled with the fact that people just right now cannot afford childcare. So yes, if they qualify and their child is old enough, then yeah, they take the free pre-K. I mean, and honestly, I can't blame them. It makes things difficult, especially for small, business person like me. I'm used to kids coming and going. What I'm not used to is what's happened in the last year. Things have slowly but steadily declined with enrollment, and it's not been anything that has changed as far as what I do. COVID, people getting sick, people losing jobs, then the vid, then people having to have that SHOT for the vid, and or lose their jobs. A lot of people lost their jobs, and some of those were daycare families of mine. And right now it's a matter of, inflation got so far out of hand that they just couldn't afford it. A lot of parents were choosing to go back to one income because it was just cheaper. It got to where they couldn't afford to go to work, for two cars to go to work, and then pay daycare on top of everything else. One parent might be working just to pay daycare, and it just wasn't worth it. And I can't work for free. I had a parent ask me if my already low fee was negotiable. And I'm like, it's really not. I provide all the meals, I provide so much more. They don't come to a sitter. They come to a daycare. I'm educated. I have lots of certification in early childhood education. I'm CPR certified. I know what I'm doing with kids, and they get educated I use ABC Mouse. They have a structured environment. They have PE. Everything they do here is about learning. Even if they're playing in a way that they're either exercising or they are learning. Did you know that playing with blocks, children are learning math? Yes. Things have just gotten hard, and it's not like this in every state. I've talked with providers from other states who aren't having as, some are, but not all, who aren't having as hard of a time because their state doesn't offer the free pre-K. That really, I don't know that decision was thought through or not. I mean, it helps the parents, but for someone who's self-employed, who doesn't qualify for any other kind of assistance, and the thing is I don't know, I thought parents were getting extra money every month, to help with daycare. They are. I'm not seeing any of it. So and I don't know if they are or not. That's just something I thought I had heard that they were getting. I don't know if it's true or not. But I can tell you that not all parents are using that or going to be using that for their child care. I think some of them are using that so they don't have to go to work. I'm just saying. And things are just, they're really difficult right now. So if things don't pick up this month, I am going to have to seriously consider if I can't find something to, supplement my income to closing and finding another kind of job. And at 53, someone who's been working for themselves for the last 6 years, what is that going to be? My last employment experience was as an assistant manager at a furniture store. Basically it was collections. And before that, I worked for GDIT. In the Medicare. That's what GDIT had, the Medicare contract, and I took Medicare phone calls. And after just a few months of doing that, I quit because I am not heartless. I could not stand hearing these people cry on the phone over situations that I had no power to help them with. We literally had to read from a script. No matter what question they asked us, our calls were recorded. Know that if you get Medicare. If you call Medicare, the long time that you have to wait on the phone is because, let me explain to you what this call center looks like, okay? There are hundreds of employees in this building, okay? In one building. And they're separated by what feels like miles and miles of cubicles. You have to log off your phone to go to the bathroom, and you are timed. Your calls are recorded, and you get graded on them. Every call, you're graded on them. If you get, at the time that I was there, if you get, and I forget how many it was, I think it was 5, bad report cards or below a certain level, you were fired. Your team captain was switched on you every few months. Your seat was switched on you, was switched on me every few months. You didn't have the same teammates. Just when you got comfortable in one spot, they moved you. And who knows why? I never understood why. And you absolutely had to read from a script. You were to get people off the phone within 3 minutes. That almost never happens. When you call Medicare and you ask the person on the other end of the phone, someone like me, a question about what is covered, they literally are sitting in front of a computer and they have tabs to click on, to choose from, depending on the question that you ask them. And so let's say if you're asking if your wheelchair is covered by Medicare, well, they can type in the search for wheelchair, or they can type in the search for home equipment and take them to that. And then they'll read from the script. They can't deviate from that script. So what I got frustrated because I could not, and then during the enrollment period, oh my God, it was worse because they still wanted you on and off that phone within 3 minutes, and that's impossible when you're enrolling people into a prescription drug plan. And they want to compare, and you're going over the drug plans with them, and they're trying to make a smart decision, and they're asking you questions, and again, all they can do is read from the script. Even if they have personal knowledge of something, they have to read from the script. Not reading from the script gets them a bad score. And I hate to admit this, but they get frustrated. They get frustrated because all day long, okay, so let's say they get off the phone with one person. So you've got these things in your ears, okay?
Dreamer, here is your remote.
So they get off the phone with one person. Then in their ear they hear beep, beep. That's another call. And it continues like that all day long until 5 o'clock, whatever quitting time is. And it was just got so bad for me. I couldn't no. And so, I had to quit. It was too stressful. I couldn't deal. There was people on the other line that would be crying, begging for my help. I couldn't do anything for them, If they needed to switch a plan and it wasn't within the enrollment period, I couldn't help them. So keep that in mind. If you're on Medicare, next time you call Medicare, it's not the person's fault on the phone. They literally are being listened to. You're being recorded and listened to. They're being graded. They're not trying to rush you off the phone, but they know that if they don't get you off that phone in 3 minutes, they're going to be scored down. It's a very stressful job. And they can only read to you from a script. Sadly. And the things that they're reading to you from a script, let me save you some time on the phone. You can go to the Medicare website and find all the information that you're calling them about by yourself and at your leisure. So, yeah. Anyway, I said all that to say this, that I don't know what I am qualified to do at this point. I definitely can't be on my feet for all day long anymore. I don't want to stop running my daycare, but enrollment needs to pick up, income needs to pick up. I have to be able to pay my bills. I've been trying to apply for grants, but apparently there aren't any right now for me in my area. I was lucky enough to get one last year. I think it was last year. But I don't. There's no money for it now, I'm told. And so yeah. The other thing I guess I could try to do would be to get investors. Someone that believes in my daycare enough, in what I'm doing enough to literally just invest a few $1,000s into this to keep things floating along until the new year, when hopefully by that time things turn around and enrollment can pick up. But I don't know people like that, so yeah. I wish I did. And even, actually, I do, actually. But I'm not the type to ask. If someone out there wants to invest in my daycare and donate a few $1,000s, that would definitely help. But that's not a realistic expectation. You can't ask that of people, especially nowadays. You just can't do it. So I'm looking at, sadly, if things don't change, 2022 could see the end of NANASTOTS Daycare. And that's going to break my heart. And it's going to inconvenience some daycare families. But I can't. I have to be able to pay my own rent. I have to be able to keep the lights on and things like that. So, y'all pray. If y'all are praying, people, please pray, because something has to change. I am marketing like crazy. I am advertising like crazy. But you know what? And it isn't just me. I've been looking on the local classifieds online, on Facebook through the groups. And there's a lot of people advertising that they have spots, but they're not getting any likes and they're not getting any comments. And, just nobody's saying anything. It's like suddenly the child care industry in my area has dried up because of the free preschool. And yes, there are infants, but those are new mamas, A lot of them are actually wanting nannies to come to their house. And I think COVID, monkeypox, all that, the recent health scares plays a big role in what people do with their kids right now. I think the only reason one of the families that's with me now is still with me because I've had all 3 of their kids since they were born, So that's why they're with me. They're not about to trust anybody else with their kids, and their kids ain't about to go to somebody else, And I'll lose one of them to kindergarten next year, which will totally break my heart, because he is the speech delayed one, and I've been working with him. I did get him to finally, for the first time, say love you, and I can get him to recognize, cat, dog, horse, cow. I can get him to say a few words at a time, one word at a time. But he can be stubborn, and he can be so easily distracted as well. But that's a whole nother thing. But I work with him so hard every day, and him going to kindergarten is going to break my heart. I wish I could get my teaching certificate so that if I had a teaching certificate, I could homeschool them. That would open up a whole new thing for me, because people in this area, parents in this area, do want to homeschool their kids, but they have to go to work. And in Virginia, you can't homeschool a child unless you are the parent or guardian or you have a teaching certificate. And again, if I had the luxury of keeping the 2 families that I have right now and working towards my certificate, that's something I would definitely do. But I don't have that luxury right now. I'm still working towards my CDA, which should not be taking me this long, but I do work a lot of hours. Even though I've got only 2 families right now, the hours haven't changed. So the hours are the same. I don't give anything to go back to the days when I had 12 and 13 kids. I would give anything to be that stressed out again. I didn't know how good I had it, really. COVID changed a lot. It really and truly did. Changed everything. Anyways, I guess that's really about it. Y'all, thanks for letting me vent. Sometimes I just need to vent. Tomorrow I'm starting on kind of trying to get my landlord out of here. Tomorrow I have someone coming to do my yard. It's actually a former daycare dad. He's coming to do my yard. Getting the internet switched over to my name. And he's going to be upset because he's not going to have access to it. But whatever. And I'm just... He promised me last weekend that he was getting the trailer, was going to start moving, but I've not seen that trailer, and I've not seen any signs of him trying to move out. And like I said before, if I don't see signs of that this weekend, I am going to Monday tell my lawyer, hey, go ahead and send that letter. He's got to the end of September to get out. Because I feel like I'm being lied to, just to put me off. So... And I need for my electric bill to go down. I pay the electric. And so you're talking about 2 refrigerators running, because he has one in there in the garage. 2 refrigerators running. He has a window unit, air conditioner running. He has this cooling, heating thing on the floor running, plus a fan, he was gone all weekend for like 4 days, and he had everything running down there. And I feel like he did it on purpose. Made me want to turn a faucet on and leave it on for 2 or 3 days. But I'm not like that. So yeah, he needs to go. The backyard needs cleaned up for the kids. I'm not trying to spend the rest of my time here dealing with him. I need him gone. And that's the other thing. I have to get my finances built back up, because in 2024, I'm supposed to be working to buying my own house. And definitely, whatever happens, my lease runs out at in July of 2024, and I'm going to have to be moving anyway. So, I've got to get things built back up. And if I could just get something up under me, a cushion up under me, then that would just change the ball game for me. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Maybe not, because you're not me. And you're not in this situation with me, so I cannot explain it. It's not easy running a business. It's really not, because you're the only one that you can depend on. And if something goes south, you're kind of left not knowing what to do. Anyways, I'm going to end this now. Thanks for listening to me vent. And I've recently started watching The Crown, because I didn't realize The Crown was actually about Queen Elizabeth II. But since her death, I suddenly want to know everything about her. And so I'm watching The Crown. It's my understanding that the royal family was not really happy with that series, because I guess the people that produce it aren't trying to hide any of the bad stuff. But I'm not concerned with that. I'm all of a sudden I'm very interested in her life. I don't know why, but I find that whole thing. You would be surprised. I always thought like the king and queen had the final say on everything, but they have the parliament, like we have Congress, and they have the prime minister. I guess that would be the equivalent to our secretary. Would that be the equivalent to like what Nancy Pelosi is to us? What is that? The Secretary of State? Is that what she's called? I'm not sure. Anyway, so they have their leadership too, and it's just called different things, and they have protocol just like we do. They just call it something different. But I find it very interesting. I really do. But I'm going to end this now. I'm going to close this. Thank you guys for listening. I'm going to try to get up a little early tomorrow before my day gets blown up and get this out to you as early as I can. All right, God bless. Thank you guys for being here. Really, I truly and truly appreciate you. And see you in the next video. Bye.